Hello. Last one of the day, so I'll keep the momentum going. Yes, gosh, Girl Geeks, as you may or may not know, has been going for a while. And I guess it links into life throws you some curveballs sometimes. Not to start playing the violin, but life hasn't been great, but you overcome that. I lost my mum when I was 16, tragically. Like others, you kind of go on. That was in the middle of A-levels, but you kind of push on, go to university. I was the only one in my family who went to university. Some of my dad's side of the family locally think I'm a bit strange because I did go to university, and perhaps you should just raise a lot of children. But yeah, I don't think I do things easy or to the norm. What led me Girl Geeks? I was always involved in technology. I was involved with a technology startup until very recently. And I think it's taken some momentum to build up. I realised the opportunity at the time to then encourage more women into STEM subjects, and I'll discuss that a little bit later on. But it's finally getting on government agenda, corporate agenda, that we need more diverse workforce. It kind of ties in with what's been discussed earlier. We have a lot of social problems to address, and not being too negative. Positive to that, I think it gives us a lot of opportunity to change. I find that so the polar bear, you kind of link it back to yourself. Climate change, it seems to go in a cyclical manner where it comes on government agenda and then it falls off quite quickly, and I think maybe like minds around a table at that point, we don't get any decision to then move it forward. Right through to cybercrime, through a reliance on government public policy. I think change should come from a local level, from people in the room. If you spot anything in your local communities, change it. And I think it just begins from that, and find like minds to then build up your communities and then drive that change forward. Just some questions. I mean, not to be too negative, we have got some problems to address, I think. But I think we've got a lot of innovators. I think it's kind of get your head above the parapet and go for it. Yeah, that passion. I almost think I've got too much. I was in a meeting just this week. I had an email yesterday. I left that meeting with someone from Sunderland University. And she had a sleepless night because I was talking about Girl Geeks and what I want to achieve, and yes, her head was buzzing and couldn't sleep that night. But then it also, you've got to find people to come along on that journey with you. Another meeting, yes, just this week, I was introduced from a fellow colleague on the business school doing the exec MBA with me, Bob Payton at Accenture. I thought I was the only one that had a crazy black Labrador boy, but I don't. As it happens, this business meeting then evolved and turned that he has a crazy Labrador boy too. I thought, how on earth, and we both said, how on earth are these created into guide dogs? Because mine walks me into different directions. But on that, I also mentioned that I want to leave, building into today's theme, a legacy. And Bob, towards the latter years of his career, was quite astonished, I guess, that myself, and I took that as flattering comment, someone so young wanting to create a legacy now. I just see a problem that I will be discussing now, I want to change. We need more change makers. The guy in the middle, Elon Musk, I think he's fantastic. He set up Tesla Motors. SpaceX, he actually wants to colonize Mars. I love people with big ideas and big passions and that actually do it. But we just need to seize in our own day jobs what little difference we can make. If you've got passion on the side, just build up that momentum and make a difference and change. I threw this in there just with the advent of the anniversary of the World Wide Web. And someone like Martha Lane Fox, who set up lastminute.com. And just, I know we're all being taught about use social media, harness the internet, but it really can make a difference and change and build influence and opinion. And we've discussed earlier today about the power, and it doesn't necessarily come from government and policy level. it can come collectively in our own communities. I mean, the lady who retained women on pound notes, yes, she got a lot of backlash on social media, but she made a difference. She kept women on pound notes. And also the Arab Springs, the uprising, it changes if you can get a collective movement and if you get people to believe what you believe. I don't know, if I can leave you something today, just think about where we are in the world now, where we see it going. Do we want, you know, the stranded, isolated polar bear on his diminishing iceberg, you know? What can we do now to change the future that we're going to leave behind to our next generations? And leading into that, we need more scientists, technologists, engineers, entrepreneurs, innovators, disruptors. And that's where it kind of leads into what I'm doing. With the ageing workforce and the huge numbers by 2020 that they quote that are leaving the workforces, we're not replenishing them enough into to be scientists, engineers, and we need to harness that passion and to get them engage with those who are currently disengaged with the system, and retrain. And if you're in an interesting field, you know, go out and speak to the kids, go on and share your stories and your passions and just enforce that within the next generations, and somehow we'll fix this STEM skills gap that we've got looming. These are quite stark figures, and that's my passion, that's what I'm looking to address. It has taken me a few years to build momentum with Girl Geeks. I've finally got more or less all the universities in the region on board with a pilot programme. I'm going to be launching Girl Geeks Campus into those to connect all the, in particular, female students in STEM subject areas and promote those and link them with role models in industry. With that, using that talent pool to then speak to our next generations and just try and join the dots. Yes, it's great that likes of Michelle Obama government, I was down in the Biz department late last year, and it was a Women in STEM roundtable. It's great the government's talking about that. But in my line of field, that it takes them a long time to move change and get them to actually put, you know, it in action. This is just one area of a lot of areas that they need to address. So yes, this is my story, but it comes from local level, and then you can build up your communities and build up the change. After 30 years, we're still the same. We need more women to engage in the workforce, retain them in STEM subject areas. I think there's a change in sight. I mean, as we've shown today, we've got great people working in science. I'll lead on to another area, but we do need more role models. We need to share our stories, make those more visible beyond the usual suspects who are out there in the domain in the media, engage with social media, and share your stories. There's a local, if you've heard about a local MP called Chion Mura, who is the MP for Newcastle Central. This is more or less within her timeline. It's not changed when she went to university to study engineering. The figures have not changed. And it does. I mean, you may recognise, well, there's Chi at the bottom. You may recognise some of these people, but we need to, I really need a better analogy of this, but my aim is in the next 6 months is to create a Mumsnet equivalent, an army of Girl Geeks, to showcase across STEM what great women are doing in particular. I'm not, although feminist is seen as an odd word these days, but it's just to positively promote women in these areas. There are loads of women doing great things, and we need to change the exposure of who is out there, and it's slowly evolving. Just to leave you a couple of quotes and to round it off. Yes, I actually read this to my father last night, and he thought he didn't know who Steve Jobs was, that generation perhaps. But he thought it was talking about me. So not only am I only child, so maybe I fit in with this, he thinks I'm a bit crazy. bit of a rebel and a troublemaker. And as recent as the last few weeks, I found someone who's approached me via LinkedIn, who wants to leave his great job in the city in London, and who actually wants to help me address some of this. It's not just the female issue, it's the wider drawing more talent into our industries, and the diversity of that, male, female, and we're working on something together. So I found a like mind. So I think if you can get people to believe what you believe, you can change, you know, our culture, our environment. And yes, if anything, losing my mum quite early and so suddenly, life is too short, and make it count. Thank you.